I had no clue that my body would be flung into the air, wearing nothing but a life vest, at 25 miles an hour that day. As it happened, I didn't even know what I would be doing at all when I woke up that Saturday morning, groggy from watching videos in bed until late the night before. I was eating breakfast when my friend unexpectedly texted me, asking if I was busy in the afternoon. "Not really," I typed. "Why?" I half expected him to invite me to a boring study session or to ask to talk over the phone later, in which my response may have changed to, "Now that I think about it, I'm totally booked." But instead, he asked me if I wanted to go water tubing with his family and a few friends. I excitedly ran to ask my mother if I could go, leaving my half-eaten meal askew on the table. And in the blink of an eye, I found myself holding on for dear life in an inflatable raft tied to the back of a speeding boat. I strongly recall the wind blowing on my face, the adrenaline coursing through my body, and an overwhelming sense of fun during the entire experience. Every time we crashed against the waves was more exhilarating than the time before. It was just one of those days where things could not have gone any better. Yet as soon as it was over, all those feelings went away, and I was left with nothing. What I just described was not unusual to me. Throughout my life, I would have so many incredibly enjoyable moments that when finished, felt rather unsatisfying. Not only was I not content, but I actually wanted more. It was just not enough. It wasn't enough to spend all day with my friends. It wasn't enough to forget about school for a few hours. It definitely wasn't enough to come home and realize I had so much left to do. Simply put, no amount of fun could erase the emptiness waiting for me on the other side. One day, as my friends and I were burning time hanging out, America's favorite sing-along came on the radio. Someone turned the volume up, and soon enough, everybody was singing Sweet Caroline at the top of their lungs. I never really liked any of Neil Diamond's hits, but something struck me as I heard this song for the millionth time in my life. After the energetic bum 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 from everybody else, I heard the line, "Good times never seemed so good." As the echoing "so good" permeated through the air, I reflected on the good time I should have been having at that very moment, surrounded by the people I truly admired. Why was it that these good moments never seemed to last? At the end of the day, this question lingered in my head. I wanted to find out what I was missing, why good times did not seem as good as I had hoped. When I compared myself to some of the happiest people I knew, my life didn't appear to be much different than theirs. My life consisted of never-ending joys I was lucky to experience, and I never went hungry, without clothes, or without shelter. Strangely enough, I noticed that the people I knew who enjoyed life the most oftentimes had less material possessions than I. In the face of hardship or tragedy, these people simply remembered the things that they still had, whether it be objects, opportunities, or loved ones. This was especially true with the most faithful friends I had. If their entire lives were stripped down to the bare minimum, they would still be grateful for God, the one constant that could not be taken away from them. Then it hit me. Gratitude. Gratitude was the true meaning behind this single line from Sweet Caroline. Out of every parallel between my life and everyone else's, the thing that separated me from actual joy was my lack of gratitude. I had always looked towards the next big thing, never fully appreciating the gift I was living in the moment. And I did not ever take time to be grateful for what I had in the present. Good times never seemed good at all because I always wanted something better. Little did I know, the best was always right in front of me. As I came to terms with this discovery, a feeling of unfamiliar peace enveloped me. All the anxiety of anticipating the future had finally been quelled in my soul, replaced by a truly good time.